Well, hello there. It's Pastor Rick from Covenant Life Church again here in Southern Indiana, right here on Veterans Parkway, right next to River Valley Middle School, and just continuing our little short video series here, going over the message from last Sunday about our families are not cursed, and especially not cursed by God. And I'm really enjoying going through this information again. We kind of went through in Exodus how when God first spoke to what many people would consider where generational curses were described and looked at what was really going on there. I invite you to check out those videos. We then went into Jeremiah, I believe it was, where we found that 600 years later and 600 years before the cross, so halfway between the Exodus and when Jesus came on the cross, was God saying, there'll be a time we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to be interacting on this performance-based relationship. Not what he wanted to begin with. And he couldn't wait to get to the point where that would be fulfilled and do what he always wanted to do, just have his people and be their God. And so now we're going to look at what that new covenant looks like as it comes into effect. We're going to be in Galatians. I believe we'll be in Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. This is New Living Translation. And it pretty much sums it up right here. It says, "But Christ has rescued us from the curse pronounced by the law being the Ten Commandments and everything else that followed right after that, or along with that, that his people felt like they needed to follow to get blessed, which they actually did because that's what they asked for. They sent Moses up the hill saying, you go talk to God, then Moses, you talk to us, go get our to-do list, find out what we need to do, how do we need to perform, and we'll do it. And that's what they said. That's what they decided. And so God agreed with them and their wishes, and that's how they interacted for many, many, many years. But then Jesus came, and here it says that Christ rescued us from the curse. So the Ten Commandments and trying to live by the Ten Commandments externally versus from the inside out, as Jeremiah described, the law being put on our hearts as part of the salvation package, getting a new heart, that if you decide to live that way on a performance-based relationship with God, you're basically placing yourself under your own curse. Christ rescued us from the curse pronounced by the law. Living by the law comes with a curse attached to it, which is the reason Christ came to die on the cross and release us from that, rescue us from that. When he was hung on the cross, he took upon himself the curse for our wrongdoing. For it is written in the scriptures, cursed is everyone who hung on a tree. So the battle of whatever may or may not have been the reality of generational curses in the Old Testament, that battle, that freedom, being released from that battle's already been won on the cross. Jesus did it. There's nothing that we have to do other than receive that grace and receive the freedom that was accomplished on the cross. But many Christians today are still fighting that battle, trying to find the right program, the right anointed person to pray over them a special way, trying to jump through hoops, hoping God will release them of this curse that doesn't even exist. Reminds me of those World War II soldiers in the Pacific that were isolated on these little islands. And when the war was over, they didn't get the word. And they spent years, sometimes decades, still ready for battle, ready to fight. Fighting a war and a battle that had already been won decades before. And here they are stuck in it. And I don't like to see Christians, and God doesn't like to see Christians fighting battles that were already won on the cross. So that's the end of this video, and we're going to continue here this little series, and we're going to look at these same scriptures in the Message version and a few other scriptures as we wind this thing down. And I hope you'll join us for those. And hey, I hope you'll join us some Sunday on a morning at 10:30. If you don't already have a great church you're part of, it'd be great for you to come check us out. We're right here in Southern Indiana in Jeffersonville, right on Veterans Parkway, right next to River Valley Middle School. Hope to see you here someday, and watch for the next video.